Hello there everybody, it's Spy92 aka Nightmare, and welcome back to the Rising of the Shield Hero. And now, I can finally watch the opening theme! Alright, so last week we got started on, well, I mean, technically the previous, yeah, you know what, last week we had a little bit of focus on, well, the next wave that was about to happen. Also, the knight that was chasing Naofumi and Raphtalia through the town, I think it was the week before, actually wanted to join him and had his own little group. So now Naofumi's got himself a nice little party. And one of you guys kind of brought this up. I really should have noticed this. One of the girls was actually a demi-human as well. I think it was one of the mages. So that's good. That's good. More demi-humans. We're great. Fantastic. But the biggest thing that was the biggest takeaway for me was the events during the wave. The Soul Eater, that was an interesting little that was an interesting little bit of a boss of sorts. And then the real boss showed up right at the end. Ugh. Some woman named Glass. Well, she's going to be interesting to figure out who the hell she's, what her whole deal is. As well as, Naofumi using the curse shield again, but it seemed like he was able to grasp some sort of control thanks to Raphtalia. Which, that's good. And it also seemed to spread out to, Philo, and that was because of the dragon, the Draco zombie that was talking to Naofumi in his head. I'm wondering if that's going to be like a reoccurring thing anytime he activates the rage shield, I wonder. Because if so, I don't know. It might be a little bit worrisome, especially considering how it affected Philo. But we'll have to wait and see on that. But anyway, what I'm looking forward to is being able to actually watch the opening theme this episode. Another thing concerning the opening theme, apparently there is going to be a different opening theme for the next episode, or I can't remember if it's the next episode or the episode after. I need to go back and read that comment. So I will turn my head away, but I will take the time to listen to the music. So that way I can watch the opening like near the end, and then I can finally try to take it apart like I'm getting ready to do now. So let's go ahead and throw ourselves in and figure out who this Glass woman is. Well. Where to even begin on this one? So the wave is over. They were able to relatively escape with their lives, which is good. Naofumi stood up to the king. We got a little bit of a glimpse into the king's personality now that he was surrounded by both of his daughters. I noticed, I don't know, the way he was acting made me think that he puts on a strong front, but in reality he's much of a very weak-willed individual in a way. I think the other thing that kind of adds on to that was something that Melty said about about her mother yelling at him. So that kind of puts into question, makes me wonder how the whole hierarchy of this place works, and why the king and queen are technically separated, yet the king seems to have like some sort of, I'm assuming that the king has some sort of fear toward his, well, I'm not entirely sure whether I could say wife or ex-wife at this point, but I don't know. Something about that just kind of puts me into like, he's just putting up a bit of a strong front, but he seems to be easily manipulated. Especially considering considering Malty seems to be a very controlling individual, making the situation always turn out to be in her favor and sometimes actually failing miserably concerning the Spear Hero and how a lot of stuff has been going around with the Shield Hero just kind of wandering around. And that little scene, I should have paid more attention to that knight that was hidden behind that pillar. Okay, so that kind of gives credence to two possibilities that Malty is trying to set up here. I'm betting you that orb as either some sort of thing that records or it displays visions and stuff like that. Kind of like whenever the king saw the vision of the Shield Hero actually being the one to take down the Soul Eater. So I'm assuming that it can actually record visuals and stuff like that. So this makes me immediately wonder two things here, two possibilities. That particular knight, probably Malty, if I had to guess. Malty's probably trying to set up to kill Melty so that she could be the new successor to the throne. I don't know, that just kind of seems like something that she'd probably do. And those knights are there to make it seem like they're probably going to try to pin it on the Shield Hero. So two possibilities that will happen out of this. Either the shield hero beats the crap out of all of the knights, and then boom, bada bing, bada boom, they will immediately think that, oh, he kidnapped Melty, therefore he is clearly bad. Or the other possibility is they kill Melty, but make it look like the shield hero was the one responsible, considering that knight came charging at her with the sword. So, where's the retribution to get Melty in trouble? God damn it! One of these days I'll be able to freaking see this. Look the... Then again, I don't know. I'm just taking from context clues. I think that's what this is Malty's plan. Probably to try to get rid of her sister, considering her little sister is the one that's going to be the successor to the throne. Oh boy. So that's going to be interesting to see how this turns out. So I'm going to go jump into the next episode and, oh boy. I'll see you guys there. And of course we start here. Hello there everybody, and now we are on episode 13 of The Rising of the Shield Hero. In the last episode, the wave was completed. Barely. Mostly because of a technicality with the timer. We got a little bit more about how apparently Glass, she's not working alone, obviously. But I'm wondering, like, what's her standing with concerning the waves and all that? Like, what's her position? Is she like the big boss? Or maybe she's like some sort of subordinate to an even bigger bad. Considering how powerful she is, if there's somebody even stronger than her, oh boy! That's by far, I think, one of my favorite scenes of the last episode specifically was Naofumi standing up to the king and just, as soon as the king threatened his friends, oh, that was true. That reaction was truly satisfying. I loved it. On top of that, we actually got to see a little bit of a, I guess, kind of a softer side to the king, in a way, considering how he treats his daughters. And, I'm not entirely sure if it's because he's, like, genuinely, you know, loving toward his children, or he's kind of doing it out of fear. Because we got a little bit of a drop concerning the way Melty was saying how her mother will yell at him, which kind of puts me in the mind that maybe the mother is the one that actually wears the pants, but for some reason they're kind of separated for some reason. I'm not entirely sure what their royal situation is. I'm imagining that they separated, but they still kept the titles of king and queen. And kind of had like a sort of a divorced parent setup where I'm guessing they have the kids split up also, but they do get to interact with each other. I'm not entirely sure how that would work. But anyway, episode certainly ended off on what we're about to hit play on right now, which is one of the knights going in and, well, having one of those spheres that I assume allows them to record visuals and stuff like that, kind of like whenever they showed off Naofumi killing the Soul Eater. I'm assuming that's why that previous scene was shown, to kind of establish what those orbs can do. They can record stuff. And, ended with him drawing his sword, and I'm assuming about to attack Melty. But thankfully Naofumi stepped in and protected her. So I'm assuming that Melty sent out these knights to probably kill Melty, if I had to take a guess. And they're probably going to try to pin the blame on the shield hero, thus trying to ruin his image immensely, make it immensely worse. And on top of that, we also got a little bit of another scene much earlier of this mysterious woman who is, she seems to be associated with Melty for some reason, who gave Naofumi a necklace of some sort. I'm wondering what that necklace, I'm guessing maybe, it might be some sort of tracker or something like that. I'm assuming that woman is associated with the queen and all of those assassins that are able to kind of walk around and all that stuff. The ones that have been keeping an eye on the shield hero. I'm wondering if that necklace has like either a tracking method, or maybe it's got like some sort of protection ability added to it or something. I do not know. We're gonna have to wait until I go a little bit further in the show. But anyway, let's go ahead and get started on this episode. And okay, I've already got my two ideas of what's going to happen. They're either going to pin the blame on Naofumi if they kill Melty, which I'm betting that they're not going to. The other idea is that they're probably going to fake up a story saying that the Shield Hero kidnapped Melty, thus ruining his image even more in some manner. That's just, and I think it's all because of Malty. That's what I'm thinking. I think she's the one that's like pulling all of the strings behind all this, kind of. But anyway, let's get started. All right. So this episode started off with the new opening and a new ending theme. I got to listen to the opening theme, and I might be confusing whoever made this song. I'm pretty sure somebody will tell me. Because I don't know. The funny thing is, I've listened to songs and I know a few of the band names, and the only ones I could think of for that one would have to be Mad Kid and Uberworld. And I'm leaning toward that was done by Uberworld, I think. I wish I could pinpoint voices better for that. I can memorize voice actors, but whenever it comes to singers, I suck at it. But anyway, focusing on the episode. So now when we protected Melty from a attempted assassination, and thanks to Malty, it's clearly her. They altered the footage that had been recorded to make them look as evil as possible. And now everybody, God, they're doing a good job making everybody think that the Shield Hero is just pure evil. You know what I mean? It's infuriating, like how devilishly evil this woman is. Like, she is quite literally a spoiled brat that never got any discipline growing up, from the way it seems like. And I just... And I think another thing that kind of puts this into perspective, with Melty, we learned that the kingdom runs on a matriarchal sort of sect. Like, the queen has much more power than the king. And considering, Melty is next in line instead of Malty, I'm not entirely sure why that is. Maybe there's some sort of qualification, or maybe the queen ended up picking. I'm not entirely sure how that would work, but it seems like, if I had to guess, from a motivation, the spoiled one, Malty, is pissed that she's not going to be the queen, which is why she even attempts to get Melty murdered in the first place. And, just so she could succeed power. Like, if I'm looking at this from a different point of perspective, I'm trying to look at how she was raised versus how Melty was raised. If I had to take a guess, Melty was raised with a little bit more discipline, realizing that she is going to end up having to rule the kingdom. So she was probably given a different treatment in comparison to Malty, which I bet you that fueled Malty's motivation and her own developing villain persona, power hungry in a way, which I think that's probably how she is the way she is, how she's, painfully spoiled and evil because she doesn't get to be the queen, especially creating that lie that he even had a brainwashing shield, which, I mean, I'm kind of glad that's not a thing. That'd be a little bit too broken, because if he could, he'd probably brainwash Malty into being a dog or something like that. I don't know, just going from Naofumi's perspective, just kind of how his own feelings toward that bitch. Just saying. That, or making her feel like a common or something like that, trying to, be like a servant to Melty or something like that. I don't know. But it seems like there's a chance, like, it's ironically because of Malty's own actions to try desperately to kill Melty that kind of clued in to the sword hero, like, Ren, he's actually starting to get like, oh, there might be a bit of a problem here. Which is kind of what reinforces that was now Fumi kind of telling, like, Ren, I'm pretty sure you can actually get this. You probably know what's going on here, or you can figure it out. Which, kind of gives me hope, in a way. But, damn. I'm glad that they're not so easy to bot. I mean, kind of not as easy to buy into the whole thing as the spear hero, obviously. He's creepy toward Philo, dear God. He needs to be brutally punished every time. And I'm happy that it does that. Although, Philo, you probably should have punched him in the dick. He would have never had kids ever again. If he had the potential to have kids, he would never. But, yeah. I do like, though, that, it seems like we're finally getting into a better relationship between Melty and, the shield hero, which is good. Kind of. At least a little bit. Though I'm not entirely sure why Raphtalia is getting... I mean, it's pretty obvious that Raphtalia has feelings for Naofumi. I'm pretty sure it's obvious, but... I'm not entirely sure... I don't know. Also, I dare say that Member of the Shadows was actually quite good at her job, I dare say. But anyway, it ended on a very confusing... It makes me... A large amount of the force is now on fire, and Malty is laughing maniacally. So, oh god, what the hell is she doing now? Oh boy. I don't know. We'll have to find out later. But anyway, I'm going to end it there, so if y'all like this, be sure to let me know. I'm looking forward to watching more of this, honestly. This show is... I'm really enjoying this show. Like, I want to say I'm enjoying this as much as I've been enjoying, like, Code Geass or, kind of like Hellgirl in a way. Like, those shows, top tier shit. Same thing with Fate Zero. I'm enjoying this as much as those 3 shows that ended up being, like, my #1 favorites that I've been watching on the channel. This is becoming really close to being one of my most favorites so far, and I'm only about halfway through it. So I can't wait to see what else is going to go on at this point. And eventually I'll be able to watch that opening theme, but I'm going to listen to that song a few more times. I'm probably going to have to ask one of my friends to send me a link of just the music, so that way I don't see the opening theme. And then I'm just going to listen to it a few times, because I want to try to see if I can actually guess if I was right on the band. But I'm pretty sure somebody in the comments will tell me, or somebody in the Discord, which... kudos to you on that one, thank you. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.